now and show you the beauty of this and encourage you to explore the content that's in this library in the Truth Network, linked across multiple platforms. So, right there is a shadow of the sun beam right there. You can see that. This is at the point in Cherry Grove, South Carolina. And I'm using the native mic, meaning the standard microphone on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The Cherry Grove Pier is about 2 miles over there. There's a new video or a video that's been released on the YouTube channel about Battle for Disclosure by Stephen Greer. And there's a lot of truth there to look at. Why are things the way that they are? Why do we have programs that we do? And a deep explanation of some of this as well. You might find compelling, you might find interesting. Wanted to do it this way with a live stream because then it illustrates something that I want to show as well. It's a live broadcast. Virtually anybody can do it if they've got a device and a YouTube account. However, what I want to describe too, I believe that you need to, or that an individual needs to have now 1,000 subscribers to have a live stream on a portable device, or at least an iPhone or an Android. I'm not sure how it is for, hey, there they go. It's kind of a nice illustration there. Moving reflections. Pretty cool. So there are clues all around about the reality we live in. There's about 2.5 billion uh, active users of YouTube and about 1.5 billion Instagram users and TikTok users. There may be more now. I'm not sure. I'm basing this off of information that's readily available and it fluctuates, and the numbers may be manipulated to do whatever they want to do with it. So, in the Disclosure Project, exposing the truth about aliens or UAPs, UFOs, suppressed energy and propulsion systems, people quite often are have very strong beliefs. They may call them opinions. I prefer to call them beliefs. I believe that this world would be a much better place with less lying, stealing, and killing. Are you on board with that? You want to know the truth about what's actually going on? I do. I do. And it's a developing story. So, to that end, I labor. I want people to know more of the accurate situational awareness. I can wear a lanyard like this, and I do. And I wanted to go ahead and show you a little bit more. See the shadow of the cloud? It's blocking the light beam of the sun. It's a little bit more obvious like that. Let me zoom out so that you can see that. It's pretty warm out here. It's almost 70 degrees or so, and the sun will appear any moment now at this vantage point. I'm going to show you down low, zoomed in as high as I can with the live stream. There's a lot of fog down low, sea mist. We get a lot of energy from the sun indirectly through the food supply and directly on our skin. And when we're grounded on the earth, I can ground by touching my feet, my bare feet on the ground, or grabbing a pole like a sign, or touching a tree. You can be a tree hugger if you want. This is at the point in Cherry Grove, South Carolina. 62nd Street North is the access point between the buildings, where there's nice bathrooms and showers, concrete bathrooms. If we had a storm, that might be a good place to go. If the water all of a sudden started going out, like soon, the precursor to the surge from a tsunami, might want to go for higher ground quick to go inland. Looks like we might be seeing the sun appear there right about now. I may change the title on this later. I just wanted it to be a live stream showing live. So there's this base reality that I'm broadcasting from right now. And then there's a digital twin of me and you and others online in the data centers. Ah, we've got a drone right up there. Can you see him? Now you can. How about that? It's my friend Scott, I believe, flying that. He's got a Tesla in the parking lot, a nice Tesla Model S. Apparently, with free energy technologies, there would be the ability to power that perpetually, accessing the 0 point energy field. Energy all around us. Lightning is an example of that, of energy that's all around. Static discharge. It's really important. It's important to know those kind of things. Like if you're working on high power lines with a helicopter dropping you in on a line, you've got to have some serious technical tools to know how to not get electrocuted. So let's zoom in on this. Now, when the sun, I came down this way because there's more uh, wet sand. The sand is wetter up higher here, so I'll get a better reflection. Hydrostatic pressure is pushing the water out of the sand, coming down and out, and the high tide is going to be a little after noon, a little after 12 o'clock. It's like clockwork. The sun, moon, and stars move above the stationary level Earth, and we've got a firmament above us, like a big terrarium. Can read about it in Genesis 1 if you want. And I've got all kinds of scientific, uh, testable, repeatable proof clearly denoted in the through the Truth Network, the research library I've compiled. So one of the things I'm going to do right now, I can only hold it so steady, and I can do better with the just setting it down like this. So what I found out is largely people believe what they want to believe. And I'm relying on that, in that I want very much to believe the truth. So I want to believe the truth, and I'm asking the Almighty to help me understand what the truth actually is in a world that is loaded with a lot of deception. So I believe it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. And I also want to do what the Almighty created me to do. He prepared in advance good works for his children to accomplish. I do believe that the doctrine of election or predestination is actually true and real, meaning that the Almighty determines who his children are and when we would be born and when we would be born again. So I had believed I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. I wanted to know why I struggled with the flesh so much. I found out that that's all I had. Once I had a lot more. I became born of the Spirit by the grace of God, and He now directs and protects me. It's a good thing because a lot of people get killed for telling the truth. Oh, looks like I've got somebody coming behind me. All righty, let's flip this around. So people reflect off of the water. They reflect on their lives, past, present, future, hopes, dreams, fears. That worked perfect. How about that? And the is very divisive. It'll split people up. Marriages, um, all kinds of relationships, employment situations, friendships. So when the truth divides, I let it divide. It doesn't ask for my permission. I just accept the fact. That's what I do with that. I know I don't have any control over what people think, say, believe, or ultimately do. I just have a responsibility to know and expose the truth. I'm changing the perspective to put them in the middle of the view again with their shadow reflections. Hopes, dreams, fears, fear, false evidence appearing real. If I want to put them in the view again in the light beam, I'll just angle on over for shadow reflection. Okay, and now that's more subtle, yet still there. And what'll end up happening is I'll get a lot of energy from the sun directly on my body and energizing my brain, my mitochondrial function, the conversion of calories to usable energy. Got a little extra stored on me, little extra fat. When I burn that fat, it'll release ketones for real clarity of thought and very usable, stable energy. So I cover topics like health and wellness. It's really important. Now, as the sun gets a little bit higher in relative perspective to where I am from my vantage point, then I'll get a huge amount of reflective light. Now, just to illustrate that somewhat, we have low energy glass, low E glass. It's used to reflect sunlight off of so it doesn't have too much energy heat gain inside a structure. And that low E glass can reflect and multiply the impact of the sun sufficiently so that it'll catch grass and bark on fire. It's documented. Now the gallon jugs of water that you can see on my car or in my videos will create a focal point that will actually catch things on fire. Have to be careful where I put it. It'll catch dry grass on fire. Can you see the boat on the horizon there? Now maybe you can. I've got video with captured by the P900 Nikon and the P1000. So is it true? Whatever you're wondering, whatever you're looking into, whatever you find, is it true and accurate or something else? I don't know. So, one of the reasons why I make my phone number publicly available is it's searchable data. And if you run across my hashtag of my name and you click on it and it says not much to see here, and then you click on it anyway, you might get a lot of results. When I did that yesterday, it showed a lot of my playlists and I found a lot of content there. So, does the richest man in the world know who I am? Elon Musk? Is he actually the richest? I don't know. I wouldn't trade places with him. I wouldn't trade places with anybody. I'm not bound by any non-disclosure agreement. In fact, I have a full disclosure agreement with the Almighty. I want to disclose all the truth that he exposes and reveals to me. There's people out there. I can't zoom in on them real good with this. It's about half the magnification of a direct recording. Alrighty. I wasn't going to have this be a long recording. Let me just set this down for a moment. So, the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It's simply the truth, the accurate situational awareness. So, when I have a thought or an idea or somebody says something and I'm thinking about it, I want to know, is it true? If I have a blind spot, if I've missed something, if I need to see it differently, I would want to know. So that's why I invite your feedback. Anybody who wants to send me a link or give me a call, that's my anytime number. It would come right to this phone and to that phone number. And it's unique, as in, there's not another phone number exactly like it. Just keep in mind, all communications is being tracked, traced, databased as well as each of us. What are the implications of that? It depends on who you are and what you're willing to do with that information. So, some people will say, the whole alien thing is a psyop. And I would say, yes. And there's a lot to learn from it, like what black projects are, how the governments of the world control the narrative. Now, there's people standing way out there. I'm going to zoom in on them and see if you can see them. They're a little speck right there. I can see it better, see them better with my naked eyes than I can zoomed in. But with the P900, I could zoom in on them enough that if I knew who they were, I could recognize them. And when the moon shows up, and you can see it in my research library, I've got zoomed in views of the moon. You might find interesting moon craters. You can see. Now, sometimes in the face to face, people will want to know specifically a question. I try to answer that as accurately as I can. And similar with phone conversations, sometimes the topic will come up, they'll want to know about a particular subject, and that's just fine. What I've wanted to do is connect all of the truth seekers that I can. And since I don't have the ability or the responsibility to help everybody figure it out, that's out of my wheelhouse. It's above my pay grade. That's for the Almighty to do. And the relationship between Him and the individual to work out the details. Now, I know Him as Jesus, Yeshua, Yahweh, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning, the way, the truth, the life, the word that became flesh and dwelt among us, all of that, all of those references. Look at how much difference there is now with the lighting. And then on this side, I can see a lot of reflections showing up, the buildings, the windows, and yet there's quite a bit of fog there. Can barely see the pier. On the other side of this pier, they're about 2 miles apart. And now it's pretty bright, and can maybe see how much brighter it is on me now. I don't know why I'm not able to zoom out. There we go. I think I had a pretty extreme close up. Maybe I need to do a little ear and nostril hair trimming. I've got the tools for that too. Now let's see if we can see the people any better with the lighting difference. Yeah, there's a little backlighting there. All righty. Well, thanks. I want to thank so many of you, all of you that have contributed to the Truth Network, exposing videos and information you found for me to consider and sent it to me. Let's zoom in on the people on the bikes and the little puppy dog. One of the attributes of being out here near the ocean is the negatively charged electrons that I will breathe in, and they're also being charged up by the sun. So the salt water is grounded. It's the largest ground in the world, the best ground in the world electrically. And there's a polarity difference between the positively charged atmosphere and the negatively charged earth. And the solar charged water droplets, humidity, moisture that come into the body help affect the body to operate more optimally. Apparently, living next to the ocean, getting a lot of the ocean breeze apparently is healthy to the human body. And also breathing in the the respiration from the trees or out in a forest is healthy as well. It has there's a different effect, and I've got videos that cover the reality of grounding on the earth and the physical benefits of that. And then being out in out in nature, moving the human body, moving our body, so we have the water, the lymphatic system pumping more effectively, being grounded, earthing helps the circulation, helps the blood flow, being well hydrated with healthy, clean, solar charged, copper infused, electrolyte enhanced water is really important. And so, on all of these different perspectives that I talk about, I have a research library that I've deployed through the Truth Network, which involves different social media platforms and websites that I've connected through the efforts that I put forward, from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, that hashtag. There's a lot of different results for that, depending on whether you type it in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Like, for example, over 34,000, almost 35,000 results for Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars on Instagram, about a third of that on Facebook. And what that does is illustrate the collaborative effort of people working together, exposing the truth. And some of the content that's there may not actually be true. However, there may be certain elements of it that are true. So sometimes reviewing this information is a catalyst for consideration. How do we, why do we believe what we believe? Is it based on the truth or something else? Maybe our desire, how we want to see things. So unless you're right out here on the beach right now or looking from one of the windows of the condos, then you're looking at it on a screen. Or you could be looking at it on a screen like your smartphone and right out here. But what I want to illustrate is that there is a digital twin of virtually everybody and our data stream and all that. There's a whole group of people out there. Sometimes there will be horses out there. The Inlet Point Plantation does that. All right. So I want to thank you all for your public and private encouragement, and also providing useful information and friendship and all of that. So let me just set this down for a moment. All righty. What I want to say now is thank you so much. Feel free to reach out anytime you like.